I'm Bill Evans, and this is Thoughts from a Tolerant Man, episode 15. I'm sure this has happened to you. You find something you've been looking for, even though you've almost given up. 15 years ago, while riding my bicycle across America, I kept a daily blog, which was followed by a growing number of people as my trip progressed. Every evening, after riding 60, 70, and sometimes over 100 miles, I'd find a motel, connect to whatever internet I could find, and write about the day while it was still fresh in my mind. Then the website disappeared. I looked for it. For years, I assumed those stories were gone forever. I had written more than 500 posts, complete with photographs, and I thought they had simply vanished into the digital world. Fortunately, all the photographs had been saved on my phone. The words, however, were gone. Or so I thought. A few days ago, something remarkable happened. With the help of ChatGPT, we found them. Buried in the Internet Archive was my old posthumous blog. Suddenly, I was reading my thoughts from 15 years earlier, not the version I remembered and sometimes included in my book, but the actual words I had written at the end of those long days on the road. It was kind of like opening a time capsule that I'd buried 15 years earlier. I've only begun reading through them, and in many ways, I'm discovering the trip all over again. Today, I'd like to share a couple of those entries. The first one captures something I had forgotten, how quickly a wonderful day can become a struggle, and how sometimes simply finishing the day is a victory. I remember it as distinctly as when it was happening. It started as well as a biking day could. The wind was at my back, the roads were smooth, and I was making better time than I had at any time during this entire experience. Some of the back roads that I was on were so deserted that I might not see a car for a couple of hours at a time. I was already envisioning my next post. I was actually thinking, I've got Texas figured out. Well, that turned out to be a little premature. What earlier would have seemed like gentle rolling hills now felt like mountains. The little town where I had hoped to get some lunch turned out to be basically a ghost town. So lunch was some Gatorade with a snack bar I had in my bag. I needed to get to Sierra Blanco for a meal and a bed, the meal being the critical part. With the way the day started, I expected to get there in about 8, possibly 9 hours. It took 12. But I actually covered 99.2 miles for the day. Therefore, I won the morning in Texas, but Texas definitely won the afternoon. Now, not every blog post was about dramatic moments. Sometimes it was simply the little realities of living on a bicycle, as illustrated in this post. Every night is laundry night. I seem to remember that there were machines to do this, but for me, it was either the sink or the tub. Sometimes I'm relegated to using one of those little shampoo packets as laundry soap. Then there's the challenge of figuring out how to get things dry by the next morning. Even if I'm not wearing these clothes the next day, I don't like the idea of packing them wet. In the picture, I've wedged my bike between the air conditioner and the table so I can use the bike as a drying rack. The blue rain jacket isn't wet. It's just ready for the morning, and such is life on the road. Reading these posts now, I'm reminded that extraordinary journeys include ordinary things that just have to be done before I could get up and ride another 70 or 80 miles the next morning. By the way, if any of you try to follow my route on a map, you may find that you get mileage that is different than what I mentioned. The reason is the bicycle route that I followed often uses roads away from the main one, so my mileage tends to be a little longer. And that's some old and some new thoughts from a tolerant man.